They came from Japan. This came from Japan. This is one of 3 Hellcasters. If you're like me, you think metal. You think these guys must be like grindcore or Korn or maybe Killswitch Engage. No, my friends! The Hellecaster, they traded their souls, like in the movie Crossroad, to the devil, to play as fucking righteous as they do. Shred country hillbilly rock. That's right! If you could do shred surf music like Dick Dale meets Chris Stapleton, and then put in a little bit of Jeff Loomis for speed and accuracy, you would get the insane trio that is the Hellcasters. And I didn't know about them. I'm not really into that kind of music, and I went and watched them, and let me tell you, if you ever wondered if a B-bender is necessary, take 30 seconds to watch Will Ray play one of his guitars, and you tell me that that guy is not as ferocious as Yngwie, except about his tractor. I got all 3 of these guitars in an estate sale. I did not know the story of the Hellecasters. What happened was, in the 90s, specifically 96, 97, the Fender Japanese shop released 3 models. But before you go any further, because unlike Trogley, I actually have these guitars in person, please subscribe. Please subscribe. All of your likes and your comments and your subscriptions, they help with my endorphins. Now back to our normal program. Will Ray, only guy in history that had the Fender custom shop in Japan invent its own model name. This is, my friends, a Jazzycaster. Why? Well, it's a Jazzmaster and a Telecaster. Now, Jazzmaster, or Jazzycaster, as they've aptly called it, you'd say that that would be a normal thing that Fender would do, but no, my friends, they've never had a model that they've just changed the name completely and just called it something like a Jazzycaster. They call it the parallel universe, all these other things other than what it really is, which is a fucking Jazzycaster. I'm going to go on record and saying that these are the 3 weirdest Fender models ever. The story goes that they made these guitars. They made 3 of them in 3 models in the Japanese shop. Now, they were also making $7,000, $6,000, $5,000 custom shop versions of these guitars. They were different American ones. I heard through the grapevine that Will Ray, Jerry, and John Jorgensen, that they were playing the Japanese models more than the American models, and even said in, I think maybe an interview, that they liked them more. And the American custom shop was like, we can't possibly have the Japanese models that are only like 1/5 of the cost of this be higher quality and endorse more. So they shut these models down. They shut them down. They were supposed to be a limited edition of 500. This is number 218. I was told that there are less than 250 of these. They sent some of them to Japan and sent some of them to the United States. This is 218. Now, here's why it's the craziest. Will Ray is known for playing both the Telecaster and a Stratocaster and a Jazzmaster. Is that both? Or is that in some? He played those, all those guitars. So they made him a beautiful hybrid. And by beautiful, I mean fucking wild. You got these crazy, like, they're like P100 Seymour Duncans that, may I add, I recorded with my band Lost Symphony a lot of my record with this guitar because these pickups are so wildly good. It has something to do, I think, with these giant freaking screws. What is that? I don't know, but it sounds sick. You got this crazy finish. It almost looks like someone touched it. That's because they did. It's hand-applied 18-karat gold. This is made of gold. It's the gold standard, ladies and gentlemen, from Japan. But it doesn't stop there. You have these wild perloid triangles. And then it's adorned at the 12th fret with this Hellcasters, which, by the way, looks almost like bloody Hellcasters. It's a great font, Fender Japan. You got this perloid and a half pickguard, which, by the way, still has the original plastic on it. This weird kind of cut bridge. Specifically, it's like a telly bridge, but it's cut for this pickup. So like unlike any other bridge. And then you have this B-bender, which by the way, there's a piece in the case. It's a metal rod and you can basically sit here and go like this. And as you do that, and if you're Will Ray, it'll sound good. We also have a 3-way, oh wait, 1, 2, 3. It's a 4-way selector, which weird. And you have a stacked, it's like a bass roll off and a mid sweep. And it sounds amazing. And again, super, super rare. Locking tuners, number 218 of 250 of maybe 500, but I've never seen above 250. And they're pretty rare. And when you see them, buy it because it's a really good investment. And Fender Japan makes great guitars. So great that the great Will Ray, Jerry, and John from the Hellcasters apparently like the Fenders one better. This one, I believe, is made of basswood. At first look, other than it says Hellcasters in bloody scrawl, you might think that this is a normal Strat, maybe inauspicious in nature. But that's where it ends. It's truly wild. This is number 263, by the way. If you look closely, the pick guard is blue sparkle. I do love the pearloid dot inlays on the maple neck, which is a very, very old school 60s style with these vintage style tuners. Totally awesome. And this body is basswood, and that's because our friend Jerry Donahue thought that basswood, because the other types of woods that you would make Fenders out of weren't as consistent, that the basswoods he had sent to him, the basswood body Strats, were the most consistent sounding Strats, which is why he made this with basswood. Where this guitar is different is on the inside. Underneath here is a piece of metal to replicate a Tele bridge, because there's a certain sound to the mass of the metal of the Tele bridge. So this actually has the same mass of metal as a Tele underneath this. And then underneath this as well is all copper shielding, because Jerry Donahue, he must be a scientist. He knows that all that extra noise and hum comes from electromagnetic frequencies. But lastly, where this has a normal 5-way, this is a tone, this is a volume. 2-way toggle. It gives you different wiring options so that if you want more of a Tele sound or I believe some phase, you can switch and actually get 7 different sounds out of this. So in summation, Jerry Donahue has erred on the side of pleasantly weird versus blatant weirdom on Will Ray with his B-bender and the 18 karat gold application with the freaking triangle inlays. If there was a guitar that expressed how I feel inside, if there was a guitar that ever just got me, it's this. Also has the Hellcasters inlaid, but with gold freaking sparkles, man. Gold pearloid sparkles all the way up the beautifully adorned rosewood. And then you have this strange reverse Hendrixy headstock. But then you come down here and you realize it's, I think they call it champagne. It's like a black green sparkle. It's like champagne green. I did not know of this color, but now that I know of its existence, I love it. First off, this is a pristine example. Crafted in Japan. Beautiful champagne green black sparkle with this brilliantly loud backplate. And then these completely wild Seymour Duncan split, like Jazzmaster, crazy looking EMG kind of thingies. And I gotta give it to Seymour Duncan that all the pickups on all 3 of these guitars are so good. I don't know what's going on, but these are awesome. What I will tell you is that Johnny Boy over here said, I don't need the basswood. I'm going to go straight maple. And that's why this is a 11-pound Strat. Oh yeah, screw your 70 Strats. I got a 96 Japanese Strat that weighs more than a fucking Volkswagen Beetle. If the gold fleck and the champagne fleck didn't tell you from, 17 miles away across the tundra and the Serengeti, the fucking lions know that this thing's coming. It's awesome. And if you want to hear a demo of all this stuff, people are like, why don't you play? First off, go to lostsymphony.com. I play all over there, and I will play soon. But I want to build up this channel with your help by subscribing and sharing. First and foremost, with the greatest guitar porn on the internet. I'm saying it. I have great guitar porn. If this is not the best boobs you've seen all day on the interweb, well, here's the other thing. And I had a debate about this because you go online. This came in with 2 capacitors. Now, I don't know. I know the flux capacitor, and that's where my knowledge of electronic things ends. But apparently, there's an extra capacitor that was on this tone. And all my life, it sounds like... I was like, what the fuck? And then I go and read a little note from John Jorgensen that says the Japanese people over there fucked up by putting too many capacitors. And you just gotta take it off. And I thought to myself for years, that's gonna screw the value. So I went to my buddy Steve and I had him take it out, and all of a sudden it was like, they took the sunglasses off. You took the blue pill, and this is what it really is. This guitar is like the greatest Strat, because if there's anything that the Japanese custom shop could possibly say to the American custom shop in the form of a fuck you, it's this guitar. And I thank John Jorgensen for thinking up this thing. I don't know what nitrous you were on or what was going on in your life, but you were right.
Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?